Greetings and salutations, Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen. I tell you what, it has been an absolute insane week this week. If you're in the education field like myself, I'm sure many of you are going on to Thanksgiving break, which means this was the last week of school, which means it was pretty crazy. It was also my birthday, so I had lots of birthday things to do. So thank you to not only my family and friends, but the Fantasy League of Ordinary Gentlemen for all of your birthday wishes. I am humbled. I am here for you. I am a man of the people, but thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to wish me a happy birthday. But then, crazy things happening. We're setting up around the holidays. The tree is going up. Decorations are being hung. I'm sure some of you have already started. I don't even like to start until December 1st, but I'm not going to be home long enough for the next couple weeks for that to be a thing. So got to use the time that we have to make this place look holiday ready. So I'm not going to waste any more time. We're already super behind. And let me say, what a win by the Oklahoma Sooners. That's happening. You had to watch the Oklahoma-Alabama game, family watch party. And we owned them, and we get the bowl game, and now we're going to go play LSU. Man, we might actually end up with a winning record if we can just pull one out. That's not what we're here to talk about, though. We're here to talk NFL. We're here to talk fantasy football. We're here to talk fantasy gents. So take a moment, like and subscribe, get us out there. We appreciate you. Hope you're having fun. But it is time. Find something to eat. Find something to drink. Push out all the distractions. Turn up the volume on your listening device because we have a very special two-part episode. We're going to try and get everything done. It's a Week 11 recap and a Week 12 preview all in one. We're going to smash it all out. Everybody's watching stuff Sunday morning. It's early. It's pretty much the same stuff now that we're towards the end of the season. We know who we're starting. We're not trading. The waivers are dried up. So you probably don't want to hear the same dribble unless it's like betting news. So what better way to hopefully start your Sunday than to find out how last week went and how this week is gonna go. So strap in, boys and girls. Let's go ahead and start breaking down the Week 11 recap. We're going to start with that Game 1 featuring yours truly, Commissioner Joe Johnson, taking on the lone Wisconsinite, Aaron Felch. And Aaron, you were on the brink of disaster. You score 120 points. I did not score my best week against you. Aren't you glad? And it staves you from defeat. And more importantly, the lane for a 6th seed is wide open. We'll talk more about that when we get to the standings. But a big win, a much-needed win to keep your playoff hopes alive. Much to my chagrin, I dropped to 6-5. And then, right, just holding in that 4-5 position. So, we got to make it quick. We're not going to take our normal breakdowns. Nothing really happening. My best play was Elijah Moore, who was almost a desperation play. I mean, he really was a desperation play. Chase Brown actually edges him by like 0.6 points here, so I missed that. But just nothing happening. Romeo Dobbs, fails me here. There's nothing on my bench that's going to help me. I'm without my main stable Cardinals here. Geno Smith does an okay job. I can't believe that Jonathan was right about Will Levis and actually having a good day. Nonsense. On the other hand, Aaron, like I said, it's a huge day and no Joe Mixon, and I think I may walk away with the win here. And I was actually ahead for a hot minute, and then Ladd McConkey, while I was sleeping, gets a crazy 18-point night. But even your defense and your kicker score in the double digits. It's a great day. It's a season playoff saving win. You've got to keep it going. You cannot take a loss. Must win out if you're going to steal one of those final seeds. And, me looking to bounce back next week. Game 2 of Week 11 featured Brennen Scala and Evan Coles. It was a very high-scoring affair, but yet again, I mean, I cannot believe it. Brennen, you continue the winning streak going. Almost everyone on your team, and saves the day. 41 points from Taysom Hill. The fact that I drafted this guy is mind-numbing. Okay. I knew I should just, but you can't hold on to him. You cannot hold on to him for the entire year, man. It's just not possible, especially with the injuries, deep league. So, of course, who winds up with him but Brennen Scala, who is still undefeated after 11 weeks. And Evan, my man, I mean, it's a bit of the Aaron Felch syndrome that you score. On a day you score 30 points, you should win. You should absolutely win this game, and you don't. We'll take a quick look at everything. Lamar Jackson really not your staple player here. We already talked about that. It was Taysom Hill, and then nothing happening at the bottom end. But what you love to see, 19 points from James Cook. You like to see 18 points from CeeDee Lamb, especially without Dak Prescott. That's kind of reassuring. The luck just continues. On the other hand, it was a very balanced play from all of your players. A great lineup, Evan. Patty Mahomes, 15 points, okay. But then Josh Jacobs, 23. Najee Harris, 13. Justin Jefferson, 14. Christian Watson, 19. Stole everything from Romeo Doubs. My God. David Njoku gets across the end zone in that, or excuse me, not in that game. 9 receptions, 81 yards. Jamison Williams has a huge 4 reception, 124, and a touchdown. So big day here. Just love the production, hate the outcome. And Brennen, the rich get richer. Nothing seems to be going wrong. You've got 3 games left to go, and dare I say it, are we going to have our first, I don't even want to speak it into existence, but are we going to have our first undefeated team? Hopefully not. 3 owners left. You know what you got to do. Find a way to win or defeat him. And then Evan, you're at 4-7. It's 2 losses in a row. You cannot take any more. You are now in the must-win out category. 3 games left to go. Can you find a win in Week 12? Game 3, Week 11, Jordan Payne taking on Jack Little Raven. It's a great day. It's a blowout. Jack struggling to find points, and another loss, 2 more losses in a row. It matches the total wins you have, period, falling to 2-9 and quickly heading towards the forever unclean game, I feel. Jordan, 5-6. It's absolutely huge. Staves you from turning into a win-out situation. 2 games to give with 3 games left to go. Can you turn 2 of those into a win? We'll talk more about that when we cover Week 12, but for this week, it's 5-6. It keeps that 6th seed alive. So important, and almost more importantly, you were able to put up big numbers when your running backs did not do anything at all here. Josh Allen, 23 points, your highest scoring player. That's Cooper Kupp, who is also 28. Josh Downs, who I was really concerned with, gets 19 points here, but Anthony Richardson vultures my rushing touchdown, and I'm very upset now that just things are, for all my players, just trending down. We'll one of those things we, don't really get to dive into this week, but just my team trending in just the absolute wrong direction as we hit the playoff push here. Not the case for you, Jordan, as, again, you love the production, love the outcome, big win here. Jack, Jordan Love, 20 points. It is your highest scoring player. You had Raheem Mostert even goes negative. That trade definitely not working out for you. And, I'd love to see, Cortland Sutton here, Zay Flowers, double digits, DK Metcalf. I mean, the wide receiver core does a very respectable job, just nothing on the ground, and just nothing from, any substance here, just depending on too many bust or boom players. And 88 points, not going to get a win. you're just living, we talked about it, played for pride, playing to get away from the forever unclean game, and then just hoping to cause upsets here with 3 weeks left to go towards the playoff. Can you do it next week? We're going to find out. Of course, Jordan looking to keep his win streak going in week 12. Game 4, week 11, has co-commissioner Aaron Grog losing to Josh Johnson. So at least Johnson was able to get a win this week. Commissioner and co-commissioner ain't getting it done. Aaron, that means you're going to fall to 5-6. You can put you back in the loser category. Josh, big win. And what did we say? What did we just talk about with, Jack and Jordan, just focusing on Jack, causing upsets? Huge loss here for Aaron. He falls to 5-6. Now really looking on the outside, trying to get in, and the 6-5, 5-6 is so huge that you are able to pick up this win. It means nothing for your 3-8, get you away from the forever unclean, the bottom there of what's going to be the consolation ladder, which is something you definitely want. But more importantly, just getting a win, it just feels good. And then the type of upset win you got this week. So excellent way to go there. Aaron coming off of, injury, trying to get healthier. Nico Collins did not do what we thought he might do coming back, having this, giant game. It was all Joe Mixon. So the game script, I feel, for Houston is going to be a run with Joe Mixon first. So I don't know if we're going to get these 30-point games that we had with Nico. I mean, they've been having to, survive without him, and maybe they've found another way. And I just hope that the running game, it opens up the pass game. We just hope that we see better, especially. I mean, I've got Nico in another league. I need him to have a huge week this week. So, moving forward, you need to see more. You love that T. Higgins comes back from his injury and gets you 29 points. He, by 0.4 points, is your highest scoring player because Joe Burrow has 29. It's a big stack. Nothing really from the running backs here. You actually have a goose egg with Kraft. The defense goes negative 100 points. You still score more than me, so congratulations. Josh, like we talked about, huge win. Jared Goff, instead of 5 interceptions, gets 4 touchdowns, 412 yards, 34 points. It's a massive day. CMC, I'll take the 14. Dobbins, 18 points. Nakua, 25. It's all you needed right there. I mean, there's pretty much your win. Everybody just kind of fills in. The only person on the latter half of your team that goes double digits is your kicker, and it's just enough. It's 128 to 100, and it's a big win. It's an upset win. Keep it going in week 12. And, of course, co-commissioner Aaron Grog looking to bounce back in week 12. Game 5, week 11, has Austin Allen and Brock Hudgens going at it. This was another super high-flowing game. It was much closer than this score would lead you to believe. You see the 14 points. It's still pretty close, even in a deep league, but this game was very, very close for a long time. And again, loving the production. Brock, you're alive. I thought you had this game. Just Austin, he doesn't go away. He just will not go away. Saquon Barkley came back. That's a huge part of this one as well. But 1, 2, 3, 4 players basically scoring 20 points a piece. I mean, you're right there too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even almost actually really kind of have a fifth one score higher. It's just the goose egg. After I talked up the Ricky Pearsall, and I know I've kind of dived into both teams here, but I don't know if there's really anything you're doing here that's going to change what you would have started. I don't see how you would have not started Ricky Pearsall here in this game. So let's take a look as, Josh Daniels, 13 points, but it was a Saquon Barkley, 13 points. Gibbs gets 19, JSN 21, Jonnu Smith 28. It's like I said, there's damn near 80 points between 4 people. My God, 145, fill in everything else, just won't go away. Won't go away. Tua has a big day, 23 points for you, Brock. With A-Chain, 20. It's over 43 points between two players. Tyreek Hill, add another 20. There's 63 points minimum from your Dolphins doing their job. 25 points, Juwan Jennings. Big Montana, Will Dissly gets 18. It sucks that Pearsall, doesn't get anything. Would it have made a difference? Maybe. But unfortunately, not going your way. And what could have been, I'm telling you, imagine being 5-6. I know that's disappointing, Brock, but sitting where, we go back 5 weeks and you don't have a win. Now you're sitting at 4-7. You can't lose another game. But the fact that you weren't here over a month ago, you basically couldn't have lost the game then. And you've made it this far. It was inevitable that a loss was coming. It just sucks when you score 131 points. Love the production. Hate the outcome. Austin, I don't want to take anything away from you. You don't go away. It's a big win. You get to 8-3. You will officially be the third person to punch their ticket into the playoffs, guaranteed to happen now. And so only 3 spots left to go, 4, 5, and 6. And there's a lot of owners out there who still can get in. So we've got some crazy fantasy football coming. And Brock, bounce back, man. Bounce back and show us what this, dude, again, the Frankenstein Dolphin 2.0, what you can do in week 12. And then Austin, you're in, man. So you're cruising in week 12. Game 6 is another close, hotly contested matchup. So much on the line for both of these owners. And Forrest, you fall short 106-117. Chandler, it's a huge, huge win as you go in to what is next week in week 12, 6-5. You are now all the way up to the 4th seed. Congratulations, Forrest. Unfortunately, like Brock, you fall. You put you in the 4-7. Cannot lose. Must win out category if you have any chance of stealing one of those playoff seeds. But 106 points on a bad week, and David Montgomery really carrying you here. 24 points. Bo Nix 28. That trade huge, and paying off and keeping you competitive. I think it's, even if you get eliminated from the playoffs, I think that this will have you as a top 3 pick in 2025, at least top 4, I think, in 2025. Nothing else happening. The whole center part of your team just bottoms out. The Waddle, that's what's not working out. But the fact that Montgomery and Bo Nix are, it is what it is. Travis Kelce, this is the difference. If Travis Kelce has the game that he's been having, 15, 20 points, you win this game. 2 receptions, 8 yards against Buffalo, not going to happen. Tank Dell, he gets his 10 points. Houston's defense saves the day with 17. It's just not enough, man. 9 points short. Again, Travis Kelce, if Cedric Tillman falls in the end zone, Jalen Waddle gets an end zone. It becomes a 2-point game. You add the yardage. Maybe you win this game. Let me not take anything from you, Chandler. Huge win. 2 wins in a row now. 6-5. It puts you in a really nice position with 3 weeks left to go. Brock Purdy gets banged up in this game, 18 points. Bijan Robinson and DeAndre Swift, and there it is. There's with the DeAndre you've been missing out on, 16 points there. McLaurin doesn't do anything, but Jamar Chase sure makes up for it. So between the two of them, 28 points. Zach Ertz, big day, 18 points. I wish I had played him in my other league. I still got a win, but he was sitting on the bench. I would have loved to have the 18 points. Debo, not doing anything, 6 points, and so weird that it's, that Debo and Pearsall get nothing, basically nothing in that game. Pittsburgh defense, the 10, and Will Lutz 9. It's a big win. It's a 117. You deserve the win when you score that, and you're going to look to carry this momentum into week 12. And then Forrest, like we said, it's 4-7 playoff position still available. Just got to win out now. Cannot lose as you move into week 12. And we hit the last game of week 11, our game of the week. And was it ever? It was another hotly contested game. I think this score also underlining how very, very, very close this game it is. It was a huge win. Jonathan, you're already in the playoffs, but holding secure basically to that second round position, getting that, or that second seed, that getting that first round bye, and 133 points. You love to see it. And Derek, like some of your fellow managers here, 120 points. Normally you're winning that game. It doesn't happen here this week. And so we'll go ahead and break it down. CJ Stroud, not a good day at all, but it doesn't matter when Breece Hall scores 31 points. Combine it with Ken Walker, it's over 40. Devontae Adams and D-Hop not doing anything in this game, but look out for Brock Bowers. I'm telling you, one of the greatest picks in the middle part of the draft. He was on my radar. Had he just made it to me, I guarantee you, the same round, I remember you sniping him. It's a great pick, 31 points, and this is why you do it, because he secures you wins. Jacoby Myers, 8, it didn't matter. I mean, at that point in time, really was just over the top. Herbert storms back, 24 points for you, Derek. You found your quarterback. Congratulations after all the quarterback woes. Your running backs get it together. It's combined for 24 points. It's what you need. Amon St. Brown scores 38 points. I mean, everybody's doing their job. It's unfortunate. Here's a big reason you lose this game. The defense, the Chargers, who I was going to start in another league. I just talked myself out of it, thank God, for Cincinnati. But it's an 8-point swing. So of your 12 points, here's 8. And then Kyle Pitts bombs out on you 1.9. There's your 12 points. There's your win. But unfortunately, that's not the way the cookie crumbles. And it's 6-5. You fall all the way to the 6th seed, but you're still there. You're still hanging on. It's 2 losses, hitting a really tough part of your season. You've got to bounce back in week 12, but plenty of time to, if you can just get 2 more wins in the next 3 weeks, you're going to find yourself in the playoff. But I think, 1 more win, holding on where you're at, 7-7, probably have the tiebreakers to keep on that 6th seed. But Jonathan, like we said, really holding on to that 2nd seed with that bye week, 9-2. It's 3 wins in a row. So can you keep it going in week 12? We shall see. Let's break open the standings real quick, and no surprise, look at the top. It's Brennen Scala who will secure the number 1 seed and getting that first week bye. There's no way anyone's taking it from him. At this point in time, we just need him to lose 1 game just so he cannot be undefeated. That is a record I do not need broken, this year or any year, really, unless it's me. So let's just make sure that one of the 3 people, go look at your schedule. Do you play Brennen Scala? Please eliminate him. Do whatever it takes. Break your legs, bleed, death, whatever it takes. Stop this man. Jonathan Andrews, we talked about it, getting his playoff seed when he hit his 8 wins. Now he's at 9, looking to hold on to that second seed and the bye week. Austin Allen, now the 3rd player, 8-3. He has his playoff ticket. And then everybody else, it's wide open, 4, 5, and 6. My Chandler and myself and Derek Ash, the 6-5 teams. So if it were to end right now, that's who's getting in. Okay. But, for example, in week 12, we got almost all there's 2 of the games next week that consist of 4 of the top 6 owners. So somebody's losing, somebody's going to win. This is going to open up things for the owners who are on the outside looking in. And those owners, 5 and 6, Aaron Grog, Jordan Payne, you guys are right there. So you have the best opportunity of trying to sneak in. But wide open for the next 4 owners, 4 and 7, Aaron Phelps, Brock Hudgens, Evan Coles, Forrest Dozier. So you guys, all in must-win territory. You cannot lose. Cannot take that 8th loss, but if you can win out, surely that 6th seed minimum could be up for grabs. We very well could have a 7-7 team not make the playoffs this year. Okay, I think it's going to be 6-8. I think at least if you make 7-7, just as close as thing is. But that's what I just, it happens, man. It happens every year that there's a 7-7 team that doesn't make it in. It's heartbreaking. Of course, our two owners who are just looking to make upsets, 3-8, Joshua Johnson and Jack Little Raven eliminated, but playing for pride, playing to get those upsets just like Josh did this week. So, gentlemen, that is our week 11 recap. Maybe you like what you saw, maybe you didn't. Either way, it doesn't matter. We're moving on to week 12. Week 12 is filled with all kinds of important scenarios. Like I said, 2 games featuring top 6 owners. So 2 of these people are going to lose. That's going to open everything up for those people who are 5-6 and 4-7, assuming those people can pick up a win. But guess what? They're playing each other too. So we're going to have people eliminated from the playoffs this week. We're going to have potential upset scenarios, and seeds are going to swap. We guarantee you that the seeds are going to move around this week. So let's take a look at our very first game for week 12. We'll feature Jack Little Raven taking on number 3, Austin Allen. And Jack 2-9 here. It was a bad last couple weeks. Not looking good. Not even 100 points on the projection. Austin Allen, big win last week, and you're into the playoffs. So this is cruising. You run into a struggling Jack Little Raven in this game already. 28 points between the owners. We'll go ahead. We'll do a quick breakdown. Jordan Love projected as your highest scoring player with DK Metcalf, 15 points apiece. Justice Hill, you're just hoping to fall into the end zone. Same with Raheem Mostert. His projection now has dropped to only 5 points. Cortland Sutton, Zay Flowers, basically the only players who were able to get you any kind of scoring going last week. Hunter Henry, can he find the end zone? We already talked about DK in Arizona, but Arizona's defense is getting better and their schedule getting easier. Baltimore's defense and Rylan, the kicker. Desperation. That's the name of this game. Can you just have a great day? Can your players go off? Can they maybe give Austin a loss? Maybe force him out of that 3rd seed? I don't know. Jaden Daniels gets Dallas, so I imagine that's going to be a hefty game coming for you. Saquon Barkley, Gibbs, Indianapolis, and the Rams. Not defense I'm wholly afraid of. Devonta Smith and JSN get, again, the Rams and Arizona. Again, the first defense you're actually really afraid of is Green Bay. It's with George Kittle. Okay, there's something. But George Kittle, again, we talk about the tougher the defense is, sometimes the better it is for the tight ends. Javonte Williams. Oh my gosh. Javonte Williams gets Las Vegas off of a big game. Will it be a roller coaster, or will the train that is Javonte Williams continue to chug here in week 12? Denver's defense, Jacoby Myers. I really don't think Javonte doing good or bad is going to make a difference in this game. I don't think that Jack has enough firepower, period, to handle the situation. So, alas, I'm going to go with another win for number 3, Austin Allen. Game 2 of Week 12 will feature co-commissioner Aaron Grogg taking on Forrest, Heart of the Cards, Dozier, and both these owners coming off of losses. Aaron, you're hovering right outside of the top 6 at 5-6. Forrest in a must-win situation. No more losses. Have to beat the co-commissioner. Have to beat your lifelong friend, high school brethren. But fantasy, none of that matters. None of that matters. Now, we're looking at the projection heavily in Forrest's favor. It's a week you could do it, Forrest. You know, a lot of things going on here for Aaron. When it comes to buys, no Cincinnati players, no Alvin Kamara, so a big helpful play here. But 38 points, not really what Aaron was looking for. 13 from Russell Wilson, falls short of his projection. Jerome Ford only gets 3. Jerry Jeudy, hey, there you go, 14 points, more than my Elijah Moore play, which I, completely gets blown away, no pun intended, in the snow. Cleveland's defense still gets 6 points, but then, you're still looking at, you got a bonus of like 10 points in that projection. So it's sitting at 93 currently. You're still projected to beat that, Forrest. We talked about we didn't talk about Rachaad White gets the Giants. This could be a slightly higher than projected game if he can get into the end zone. Can Nico Collins find his early season form against Tennessee? Tucker Kraft cannot goose egg you again. Quentin Johnson, who's on fire, gets on Baltimore. They allow a lot of points. This could be a higher than normal projection. So, Young Hoku, the kicker. Obviously, Aaron's going to bring in a new kicker. So, again, we already talked about his projection currently sitting at 93 instead of 83. So, we're still looking at what would be an 18-point projection in favor of Forrest Dozier, and Bo Nix gets Las Vegas. I think this is going to be a big game here for him. Chicago and Indianapolis get Aaron Jones and David Montgomery. I think that you're not worried about Chicago. They can't stop the run. It's all about quarterbacks and wide receivers there. And I think Minnesota's struggling a little bit. Just saying that, keep that in mind. Cedric Tillman, unfortunately, has a really bad day, fumbles the ball, not good, not helping you. So this is already starting a little rough here. Jalen Waddle's got to come in and help him out. Travis Kelce gets Carolina. This should be money, lots of points. Tank Dell will get his 10. Houston's defense and Jake Elliott, the kicker, it is 111-93. And yes, I do believe that Forrest will stay alive. It's just a little too much in the buy department. And, you've got some projections that I think are going to go in your way. But I do believe that 5 and 7 is coming for both of these owners, except the difference is Forrest gets the much-needed win. And co-commissioner Aaron Grogg will find himself in a must-win situation in the last 2 weeks of the playoff push. Game 3, Week 12, important game for Mr. Felch as he takes on number 2, Jonathan Andrews. And we talked about Jonathan has already got his ticket. Big win, 9-2, coming off 3 wins. He wants to hold on to that number 2 seed, get that first round bye. It's a win-out situation. No more losses. Aaron, you've got to find a win. It's not the lack of production. It's just here's an opponent who could put a bunch on you, except for the fact that he's dealing with some heavy buy issues. So you might actually be able to survive just things going your way here late in the season when they weren't at all going your way early season. A little justice here late in the season, but hey, better late than never. Better late than never, am I right, Mr. Felch? Let's take a look at the teams. Jalen Hurts gets the Rams. Love the 20 points. Joe Mixon, Tennessee, and Chuba Hubbard, Kansas City. Taper expectations for Kansas City. It has a pretty good defense, but Joe Mixon could be another 20 higher than that point day against Tennessee. Jaden Reed and Ladd McConkey get San Francisco and Baltimore. Tapering expectation for Reed there. Hawkinson, Chicago. It's pretty good against the pass, man. Maybe them focusing on Justin Jefferson will free up Hawkinson. We will see. Kyron Williams, Philadelphia. Chance he gets into the end zone. They do allow a lot of touchdowns. They do also stingy against the run. It's an interesting concept. It's just when you're inside the red zone, you can score running on Philadelphia. Minnesota's defense and Gay, the kicker, 117 the projection. It's a 20-point projection in your favor. CJ Stroud gets Tennessee, but he's going to be doing lots of work with Joe Mixon. CJ Stroud still struggling. Can Nico Collins become a thing here? I will say Tennessee's defense is very good. It's the offense that is the problem. So keep that in mind. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, just going to go with everything. Might as well. With people on bye, we're just going to absorb everything going on. If Vulture touchdown or not, we're going to get everything Seattle's running game can give us and make it likewise for Kansas City. D-Hop and Xavier Worthy, somebody's going to get a touchdown, am I right? Can Brock Bowers get another 30-point game against Denver's defense? I don't think so. And a boom or bust play with Slayton. Kansas City's defense, and Dicker, the kicker, 96 points is probably one of your lowest projections all year. And I think that Aaron, I kind of alluded it to at the beginning of the game. We're going fast. I get it. I apologize. But a chance to stay alive, get to 5-7, and think about this right now. That puts you up with Aaron Grog, who is literally at number 7. If he loses to Forrest, he's at 5-7. Forrest is at 5-7. You get this when you're at 5-7. You do everyone in the top echelon a favor by dropping Jonathan to 9-3. Oh man, like I said, huge implications this in all of our games. But as we get closer and closer to the playoffs, and then things going your way, so give me Aaron Felch to get the win over number 2 Jonathan Andrews here in Week 12. Game 4 of Week 12 will have someone eliminated from playoff contention and will keep someone alive. We talked about getting to 5-7, so important for so many owners, and Brock Hudgens will be taking on that which shall not be named, he which is forever unclean, Mr. Stinky Evan Coles. And like I said, boys, both you coming off losses, somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to win, and right now that person is in favor of Brock Hutchins, and both you guys fighting, trying to stay alive, but it's really Brock who has come back from everybody. I think I'd written off Brock almost in the sense that, I was cheering for the Cinderella run, hit a bump. We can't pumpkin. Are we minutes from midnight? Brock, Tua Tagovailoa against New England. So a stingy defense, not somebody you're necessarily afraid of, but stingy. Thank God it's in Miami, and your Dolphins 2.0 have a chance. They need to score 60 points. It's got to happen. Rico Dowdle, who has been the unanimous starter in Dallas, gets Washington. Okay. Mike Evans says he's going to play. He carries no injury designation. This is huge. And he gets the Giants. What a game to come back to. McBride, Seattle. I love it. Jawan Jennings. It's the right play. Yes, no Pearsall. No, we're not doing that. Philadelphia's defense, it baits the kicker. It's 119. And then Evan, you're right there, right behind him. Only 13 points. That means a player, just maybe 2, need to boom here a little bit. Patrick Mahomes has got to score, and this is where it could happen. Patrick Mahomes can make up this 13 points. He could score well into the 30s against Carolina. I think after the loss last week, Kansas City is going to play angry, and I can absolutely understand wanting to start all the Kansas City players that you can get a hold of this week. Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, running backs 1 and 2, but rough games here against San Francisco and Cleveland. Taper expectation. Justin Jefferson, Christian Watson get Chicago and San Francisco. Man, the tough defenses continue. Njoku, Pittsburgh, we know he got across the end zone. Very, very important. I just don't think it's going to be enough. And this is Jameson Williams, not Javonte Williams. Detroit at Indianapolis. We'll see. Obviously, you're going to swap out your defense, so maybe you get another 5-ish points. That'll bring this game total within 8. We already kind of know what's going to happen. So you get a player who booms here and he falls into the end zone. You're happening. Justin Tucker, the kicker. And this game is going to be fun. Like I said, someone is going to be eliminated from playoff contention, and I have to pick a winner in this game, and it's just been too good to watch, and I do not believe the clock strikes midnight on Brock. Give me Mr. Hudgens to get the win, get to 5-7. He would already be at 5. He'd be a 5-6 team right now if he wasn't playing people who scored 130 points, 140 points a week. My God. So keep it going, Brock and Evan. Alas, I do think that your playoff hopes are dashed here in Week 12. Game 5, Week 12, and the scores get a little closer as Josh Johnson, 3-8, is looking to give Jordan Payne a little bit of an upset here in Week 12, and this game is within 11 points, so right to the point where we could say it could go any way, almost, not quite, but almost there. 10 points. That's just a player. We talk about it in the previous game. It's a player who is going to boom, who can make a difference that week that might upset that. Not likely, but possible. Jared Goff, if he scores 4 touchdowns and 400 yards, could definitely settle this game. I will say it's not looking good, 99-110, and Jordan is in winning form once again. Much like Aaron Felch, things going his way in the late season. CMC and Dobbins need to have good games, and they run into Green Bay and Baltimore. So I'm going to taper my expectations for both of those players. Puka Nacua and Rashad Bateman get Philadelphia and the Chargers, and not great here with the wide receiver 2, as well as a stingy defense. Noah Fant, and I don't think he's going to play, so you're going to be searching for a new tight end. Austin Eckler finally makes it onto the roster. Miami's defense and Fairbairn, the kicker, is 99 points. You're going to need more, and I think, to find a win here, and Jordan has been in fine form as of late, coming off of a big win last week and wanting to just find his way into the playoffs. Anthony Richardson, and the fact that this man is being started on another team, and the fact that he had a semi-decent week last week is beyond me. He gets Detroit, who has a good defense. I don't think that's going to be the case this week. Tyrone Tracy and Kareem Hunt, running backs 1 and 2. Taper expectations for Tracy with the Tampa Bay defense, but Kareem Hunt in Carolina should make up for it. Cooper Kupp and Josh Downs, wide receivers 1 and 2. Is this stack with Anthony? I swear to God, if it works out, I can't believe Downs got 19 points with Richardson at the helm. I mean, it was a ballsy play. You didn't have a choice, much more or less this week either. The pickup was Schoonmaker. My God, someone has family in Germany. It gets Washington, but coming in for the injured Turd Ferguson. It's a funny hat. A.J. Brown gets the Rams. He needs to have a big day. Here's something you don't like. You never like your defense playing against one of your own players. We got that with Tampa Bay and Tyrone Tracy. Will it have an effect in this game? Probably not to what we might see in other scenarios. Boswell, the kicker, who could score 20 points at any point in time, but unfortunately, I just don't think, even if he were to score the average, the 12, whatever, I just don't think that you have enough here, Josh, to knock off Jordan, who's in kind of a groove right now. Things are going his way. It's just the way, I'm trending in the wrong direction, and Aaron Felch and Jordan Payne are trending in the right direction. You can look at Derek, who normally is Mr. Consistency. He's trending in the wrong direction. So, it's crazy, the ebbs and flows of the fantasy year. And here we go. I have to pick a winner, and I am going to pick Jordan Payne to get a win here against Josh and get to 500, get that 6-6, and hold on to just maybe stealing a 6 seed. Game 6 is a fantastic matchup. It's within 10 points. It features number 6, Derek Ash, who is coming off of 2 straight losses. Rough part of the season right now. It does not get any easier, taking on the number 1 undefeated, 0 to hero, 11-0 Brennen Dangerous Scala. Is that an intro for one man? Can so many titles be bestowed upon an individual? And Derek, sir, you are a grizzled Fantasy Gents veteran. You know that no one in 13 years has gone undefeated. And look into the eyes of your commissioner right now. Derek, it ends today. It ends today. You are Mr. Consistency. It hasn't gone right. You give this man a loss. I know that even us being right here with each other, I'm in a close game. I do not care. It ends today. I cannot have this record broken by Brennen or anyone else that Jordan's brought in or anyone else that's not me. I break this record, not Brennen. Let's break it down. Derek Ash, ooh, got an itch. Derek Ash gets Justin Herbert, who has been fantastic. Baltimore, you can pass on them. This is going to be a good sign. Derrick Henry, Brian Robinson, running backs 1 and 2. The Chargers in Dallas, tapering expectation a little bit for Derrick Henry with the Chargers, but Brian Robinson with Dallas should be real fun. Real fun. Amon St. Brown and Malik Neighbors get Indianapolis and Tampa Bay. Taper expectation for Neighbors, as we now know that Dave Dimes got the boot. So we're just gonna pray that Malik Neighbors can find the end zone. Austin Hooper comes in at tight end. Bucky Irving, who I would normally say is a touchdown-dependent play, a vulture play, but clearly you can start him and Rachaad White, no problem. The Chargers defense, and talk about players, I guess we got a lot of defenses playing players you don't like. That situation, it can really hurt you. I would almost swap out my defense here, but that's just mine. I think there's some better defenses here, and that I don't want to play defense that my players playing. Counterintuitive, but nevertheless, Sanders the kicker. It's 115. You might get away with it this week, given that Brennan's dealing with some buys, and he might have some players a little banged up. We'll see if CeeDee Lamb's probably going to play. Who knows with Dallas, what craziness is going to unfold, and maybe I just don't feel like I can make it, coach kind of thing. I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows? We've seen it happen before, okay? Lamar Jackson, 23 points on the projection, gets the Chargers. Again, interesting that this could be such an important matchup, this Baltimore Chargers game, for both of these owners. Ramondre Steven and Samaje Perine coming in at run. You gotta love the crazy running back plays when you have people on bye, boy. I tell you what, you get crazy plays like Perine, who is, hey, great matchup. Carolina could vulture a touchdown, 100%. We talk, everybody's getting in on Kansas City. I tell you what. CeeDee Lamb, we talked about it, dealing with an injury, but is scheduled to play. George Pickens, only 8 points, so it didn't turn out to be a good day in the snow. That's not going to help you in this game, Mr. Scala. Dalton Schultz coming in, not a lot of targets. Touchdown dependent. Believe me, I ran with him for several weeks. Calvin Ridley, who's come on fire. Will this be a game without D-Hop against Houston? Huge day. We'll see. Can Levis do it again? Jonathan was telling me to pick up Will Levis last week. Maybe I should have done it. San Francisco's the defense, and Brendan Aubrey the kicker. It's 105. I will say we'll give the updated. I forgot. Some of them we get, some of them we don't. I'm sorry. This one is now 101. You lost 4, so it's 115 to 101. So the projection continues to trend down this week. I think it's going to happen, whether I like it or not. So give me number 6, Derek Ash, who's had 2 really bad weeks, to get back in winning form, get that 7th win, and give Brennan his first loss of the season. And then, Brennan, you can go on winning. And then, Derek, I need him to lose. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game here in Week 12. All right, boys and girls, it's the last game of the week. It's time for Game of the Week.
Wubba lubba dub dub! Bam! Woo! Woo! Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
And our game of the week will feature number 4, Chandler Taylor, brother-in-law of the commissioner, taking on number 5, yours truly, Joe Johnson. And both these owners 6 and 5. Things aren't going my way right now. I just took a very nasty loss, and I was on a heavy bye week last week, so that had a lot to do with it. But still, no Olave, no backup, basically quarterback there. My wide receivers thinned out. Still dealing with a bye week. I don't get Chase Brown, so I'm not in a great position. Thank goodness Chandler runs into an even heavier bye week. He doesn't have his Cincinnati Bengals. More importantly, he doesn't have any of his Atlanta Falcons. This game is projected within 3 points. It is the closest game of all the games here in Week 12, and so much on the line right now. Chandler, you hold on to that 4 seed, but only due to points 4. So whoever wins this game will have the head-to-head record, which I would need just because of points differential. And then, of course, if you were to win this, then you'll have the tiebreaker and the points differential, which would, if we were into a tie-breaking scenario, which would give you the absolute assured go ahead, much like you would be right now of 4 and 5, which would also be a rematch. If it were to hold, if standings hold, this will be a rematch of the round 1 of the playoffs. So huge game for both of us. Let's break it down. Number 4, Chandler Taylor, Brock Purdy, and we now know that Brock Purdy will not be playing. You will be looking for a new quarterback. So there goes that projection. That's going to hurt. DeAndre Swift, Emmanuel Wilson, running backs 1 and 2. And like I said, the fun random plays at running back we get when we have these heavy bye weeks, and looking for Emmanuel Wilson to vulture a touchdown against San Francisco. Don't think that's going to happen. Addison, Jordan, oh my God, I cannot talk. Jordan Addison, who has been a boomer bust play against Chicago, and they're all over wide receivers. It's a tough play. McLaurin, Scary Terry against Dallas. Now that'll be fun. Probably going to score more than the 2 points that he got last week. Cade Otton, huge game against the Giants, who are horrible and ailing and off of a bye week. This is not going to be fun. Debo, San Francisco, Green Bay. This is going to be a great game. Could be a big game. Pittsburgh's defense, we know that they got 8 points. That's the one thing I guess I can go ahead and look up. They got 7 points. So nothing helping you there in that game. And the updated projection has you actually at 95. You lost 5 points. So not the projection continuing to go down and against you. Will Lutz, the kicker. Let's flip the script and get the Cardinals, my little birds, coming back. Fly, my friends. Fly, my pretties, towards Chandler and his inevitable doom. Huge game. Seattle ready for this. Is going to be a shootout. Jonathan Taylor, please, for the love of God, get a touchdown. Anthony Richardson, stop vulturing my touchdowns. I hate this. It makes the wide receivers I hate Indianapolis. It makes the wide receivers completely unpredictable. It makes he eats into Jonathan Taylor's rushing yards and rushing touch. I just absolutely hate everything about Indianapolis right now, and the coaching staff and the management staff. Like, I hate you. Put Joe Flacco back in, please. James Conner, talking about my little Cardinals. Get Seattle, looking forward to that. MHJ, Seattle, so huge game, obviously, much like the Dolphins and Brock Hudgens. I need my Cardinals to perform. Unfortunately, Elijah Moore only 5 points, so I'm going to lose. I'm still holding at 104, but I did not get the 8 points of the projection. I am going to run with Goddard this week against the Rams over Mark Andrews, who I just don't even like the matchup, and last week wasn't good, especially with Isaiah Likely back. So, yeah, man, just give me Goddard in what just feels like a better matchup here. Going to run with Dobbs. It's not great. My production is going to come from the top half of the team. Dobbs is a boomer bust play. maybe against San Francisco, Christian Watson's going to take a little more attention here. That's what I'm hoping for. Arizona, the defense, and Moody, the kicker. Chandler, son, I want to say you're learning fantasy fantastic. For a person who's only played for 2 years, you have learned and understood and become more adept than people who have been playing for 10 plus years. Forrest Dozier. Excuse me. Sorry, something in the throat there. But the thing is, you've gotten all of your knowledge from me, and as the saying goes, I've taught you everything that you know. I haven't taught you everything that I know. All right? And at the end of the day, you're playing Final Boss. So just lay down. Too heavy of a bye week. Of all the things, you've been messaging me for advice, and I play against you. How's that gone? Everyone should know. If you're watching this Sunday morning, get in the chat and make fun of Chandler for actually asking the person that he's playing against for fantasy football advice. As if, why? I would not, no way would I help you this week, Chandler. Get off my lawn and let's move on to the power rankings. And as we can see here in the power rankings, number 1, Austin Allen, followed by Derek Ash. So that's not something you want to see, Brennan. Aaron Felch, Brock Hudgens. Look at these guys sitting look at all the owners who are towards the bottom of the league, sitting at the top of the power rankings in week 12. Ooh, baby, we're going to have an interesting, when I tell you, we are primed for upsets this week. We are primed for upsets. Evan Cole sitting at 6, Josh Johnson sitting at 7, Forrest Dozier, all these guys in the here's all these people in the top all of a sudden, okay? Jonathan Andrews, myself, Weatherford Moonshine. Man, we're right there. Our game's going to be close, Chandler. It is going to be close. Brennan, the number 1 person in the league, is number 12 in week 12. I'm telling you, if you think you have a handle on your game playing one of these lower tier teams, you do not know what you're talking about. I mean, the only person who really is down here is Jack Little Raven, and at the very bottom, Aaron Grog. So find who you're playing. Does this give you a little hope? Does this scare you? You tell me, but there we go, guys. It's a week 11 recap. It's a week 12 preview. It's a lot to get in this morning, but we got it in. It's better late than never. It's a couple dollars short, but it's still a full episode. I wish everyone good luck this week, of course, unless you're the brother-in-law Chandler Taylor. Get the fuck off my lawn. Take care, and peace out, everybody.